Fucking hell, he got COVID.
No. What's going on, everyone? It's John back again. Welcome to our Tuesday edition of the weekly transfer news that we will be bringing to you every Tuesday and Friday if there is anything to talk about. Also, possible outgoing players that have been linked with a move away from Goodison. But first of all, Michael wants to say something about some news that's broke today from. It's been all over Twitter. It's regarding someone from Arsenal Fan TV. So Michael just wants to speak on that first.
Yeah, so obviously we all woke up to news that Claude has passed away from Arsenal Fan TV. Some of you may not know who Claude was. I can't even particularly say that we spoke to him or I spoke to him much. Claude was just a genuinely football guy. Like, he loved football. He loved Arsenal. He was good at getting his opinion across. He shoot from the hip. He was just a genuinely nice man. And although he wasn't perfect, as none of us are, I think he's had a lot of abuse. He's been suffering mentally. And as a result, by all sort of reports, and again, it's not confirmed, but he may well have taken his own life last night. And being someone who is incredibly pro mental health, it's just not good. It's just, you know, how a 57, 58-year-old man has got into that dark place and not necessarily felt a way out other than potentially that way out is horrible. So tomorrow there will be a live on this channel. Any donations off the back of that live will go to if not more, mental health charities, the equivalent of the Samaritans and people like that. Because this is now something that is absolutely prevalent online consistently. You're seeing Thierry Henry come off Twitter because it's toxic and it's bad for racism and abuse. You're seeing KSI, a lot of younger people can relate to, leaving Twitter because of online abuse. We get it in comments on this YouTube channel. We get people comparing us to other channels, calling us pathetic and calling me a wool because I'm an Everton fan but just happen to live in Birmingham, irrespective of knowing my history. So it will be addressed. It has to be addressed. There has to be a final moment where people go, do you know what? Online abuse, it's enough. And it was bad enough, Caroline Flack. It's been bad enough with everyone else since. But for it to be a I can't even say the word, contributor to the YouTube football world, it hit home today. So there will be a live video tomorrow. Connor from One Leeds will be on supporting me, going through some of my thoughts on it. Equally, he will have his own and deliver it. And I also will be on One Leeds fan channel tonight with Connor addressing the same issues on his page. So this is something I am incredibly passionate about. And even as of today, I'm sort of thinking of starting a potential charity for YouTubers because it's just not on, the abuse we get from people who sit behind keyboards and how it makes us feel. It's just not on. So sorry about that. Sorry about the sort of downward, deep down dive feeling.
Michael, it had to be said though, and I know, like, I called you names on here just to reiterate what you've just been saying, and you likewise to me, but that's banter. But these keyboard warriors who sit behind keyboards, and I've never said this to you, but this is hands on heart. I've done this. I've seen comments in our channel that you haven't seen or answered, having a pop at you, calling you, you know, for how you look physically and what have you. I've deleted these people and blocked them so you don't see it, Michael, because I know you well enough now that you've suffered, and not just on one occasion. You've been, you know, nearly tipped over the edge. I'm going to say you have, and I'm not asking people to feel sorry for you. Me and you had the conversation today, Michael. These keyboard warriors need to stop, and I'd like to think we don't have any watching us who will go that far. But if we have, if you feel the need to get personal and make people suffer with mental abuse and let it get to them. Just don't put fuck all. Just don't comment. That's all you've got to do. If you've got nothing nice to say to me, Michael, any other YouTubers, just don't say nothing because we can't be that bad if it's the same people all the time commenting and having a go at Michael more. So I've had it, but not as bad. If we're that bad, why the fuck do these people come back and watch us? Why do they watch YouTube channels if the content or how you look or how I sound because I'm a Scouser? Why do they keep coming back and watching if they feel the need to do personal abuse? It's not on, as you quite rightly said, Michael. This is only my take on it because I won't be on the video tonight and tomorrow. But look, it started with Caroline Fach. Look at the things Marcus Rashford's done in this lockdown. He gets it. He doesn't deserve it. Look at the things he's done for the kids in school and stuff. And he's had it because he puts a bad performances in. People who do it need to sit back and think what it can cause. And again, look what's happened with Claude. Now, as Michael said, we don't know the ins and outs, but it looks like, yeah, he has been getting abuse on his YouTube channel recently. That's probably helped towards it. I'm not going to say that's the whole sole reason of why, unfortunately, he's took his own life, if he has done. But it won't help. So just stop it.
And I think another thing as well, and it's really important that we learn from this, because as fan channels, our job is to either critique or to comment on players' performances. And even me, John, any fan channel on there, any single person that gives their opinion, if they don't necessarily do it in the right way, which we've all been guilty of not doing it, how is that player feeling? And again, we never take that step back and look at it. And yeah, we'll go into
it. There's a better way, me, you, and all the other YouTube channels included, Michael. There's a better way of probably putting it across, and I will certainly look at things differently. There's different ways of putting it across how we feel about certain individual players. If we don't rate them, there's better ways to put it across. So I'm going to take a look at it, and listen, we can sit here and call players shit, because players can just laugh at us with the money they're on. But when it becomes personal and it pushes people to do what Claude's done, nah, it's not for me, that. So please just be careful what you're saying. If there's any on here, I'd like to think none of them watch us, but please don't give me and Michael or any other YouTube channels personal abuse. Just don't put anything in the comments if you feel the need to personally abuse someone.
Yeah. Let's get into a lighter note, because honest to God, tomorrow's video is going to be horrific, and tonight's video on Connor's channel is going to be horrific. I can see it now. So, let's get into the news, John. You take us where we need to go, my friend. You take us where we need to go. You start us off.
Well, I think it's been a week now that we've been quite strongly linked with Koulibaly. After a couple of days, his agent come out and said doesn't look like he'll be moving to Everton. There's no truth in it. Then you told me a rumour this morning that he is happy to stay at Napoli. And just before we started making this video, I seen a link from somewhere. Koulibaly's now come out and said he would like to play for Ancelotti again. So, listen, there's no smoke without fire regarding Kalidou Koulibaly. And I've said this many times when we spoke about him, there will be big clubs in for Koulibaly if he is up for sale. I'd like to think Everton will have that pull. Listen, there's going to be bigger clubs in for him, as I say, than Everton. But you never know with this one, because it seems to be quite a strong rumour now from, quite a few sources. It is one to keep an eye on. It's good that he has come out and said he would like to play for Ancelotti again. So I think it is one to watch. I think we were also going to talk about, Michael, if Koulibaly comes in, Yerry Mina is being linked with a move away, probably so Koulibaly can replace him. I did see something to raise funds. I don't think Everton have to really sell players to raise funds, but obviously selling players does help. But I don't think we have to do that. what I'll ask you, Michael, is if Koulibaly did come in, in your opinion, which would be the centre half to probably make way for him? Do you think it'd be a Yerry Mina or Michael Keane, or do you think even though Mason Holgate's been playing at right back, he is a centre half? Do you think it could be him?
I think it's really difficult, to be honest, between the three of them because they've all got different abilities, which are fantastic. So, Yerry Mina, winning headers, scoring headers. Don't get me wrong, Michael Keane also scores headers. But Yerry Mina is a real threat. And over the last sort of 6 months, over this season, he's really stepped up for me. He's made some absolutely phenomenal blocks. I can't remember what game it was, and we played at Goodison, and he wasn't just the best player on the pitch. I think I said he was the best player of the season, and this was before Ben Godfrey obviously emerged as being fantastic. But he's been brilliant, Yerry Mina, when he's not been injured. He's been phenomenal.
He's been one of our most improved players this season, Yerry Mina.
I think he's been our most improved player this season in terms of, we didn't necessarily
been at the club,
yeah, because I didn't know that Ben Godfrey was going to be fantastic. I didn't know that James Rodriguez was going to be so effective when he plays. I didn't know that Alan was going to be that pit bull consistently because although we knew these players were capable of it, we hadn't seen it. Yeah. So for me, Yerry Mina, unbelievable. Like,
as you say, him and Michael Keane are completely different players. And for me, I'd like to see Yerry Mina, or Holgate's partner Koulibaly. I think what you get when you have Mina and Koulibaly together, Michael, is you have power in the air. You have strength. You have two centre halves who will score you quite a few goals in a season. Do you know what I mean? From set pieces. They're both good at reading the game. They're both very good at bringing the ball out, which I like that in the centre half. And that to me, I like centre halves who can start an attack up, and you don't really get that with Michael Keane. You know what I mean? So, but you get that with Ben Godfrey.
Yeah, I think the difference with Michael Keane is his distribution. I think is better than Mina's. I've seen Michael Keane
30 yard passes.
Yeah, I've seen him pick out players. I've seen him beat a man. I've seen him do so much in terms of just on the spot being able to think a little bit outside the box, which I think Yerry doesn't. I think Yuri's more instinctive, more aggressive, whereas Michael Keane's more methodical. So there's that element. And then you've got
one has to go. One has to go, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then you've got Mason Holgate, who is versatile, hasn't had the best of seasons. He's certainly not a right back. But this was a guy that 12 months ago, we were absolutely buzzing that he got a new contract. We were screaming for him to get in the England team. You don't... I don't know whether it's just because he's being played out of position that he's come across as quite bad, because he's having to play more on the turn. He's having to potentially attack more, and he's not that player. He's a centre half, or we have seen him do a decent job as a holding midfielder. For me, Michael Keane would go.
Yeah, I agree. Just going back to what you said about Mason Holgate, he's not a right back. But the performances he's put in this season, listen, we can't really say that, but the feeling I get, I don't think he would have been much better at centre half. I don't think he's playing with confidence, Michael. And what I will say about Mason Holgate is exactly what you've just said there. Last season we were raving about him. He should be in the England squad. I feel like, I have to watch how I say this before I get slated for it. I don't feel like he's progressed this season like some players have.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's a fair argument. Yeah, that's a fair argument.
I wouldn't say he's took a massive step backwards. I wouldn't say that because he's been playing out of position. I just get the feeling if he wasn't playing right back, I don't think he would have played as many games because of the centre halves we've got. And obviously we've been short at right back with Seamus, not being fully fit and having injuries. John Joe Kenny, going out on loan. So we have needed him at right back. I just don't think he's stepped up this season. Now, maybe if he was playing centre half, he would have done that. But I think there's a lot of centre halves. Well, in my opinion, all the centre halves we have at the club who are playing week in, week out, Godfrey, Mina, Keane, they're miles ahead of him when it comes to the centre half position.
Yeah, and I also think from Holgate's perspective, what probably just keeps him over Keane, and again, this isn't meant as a dig at anyone, but he's younger than Keane, which means he
And
may
he can
have
play in midfield.
exactly, so he just adds a bit more versatility, whereas Michael Keane is a centre back through and through. And look, there's a lot of teams that would be in for Michael Keane, a lot of good teams, because he's a good player. I'm not sitting here saying he's not a good player, but to bring in Koulibaly is a completely different argument. And yeah, we might regret it in a few years because Koulibaly's older than Michael Keane, and maybe we'll regret
But
it.
we've got Branthwaite then as well to come through, haven't we? And I think we've got the other young centre half who's out on loan as well.
Exactly. So for me, Michael Keane, I could see him. I could see him going and playing for Tottenham. I could see him at Spurs.
Well, he was linked with Tottenham, if you remember. And he was linked with Burnley as well. Because we spoke about that on here.
Because if you think about the centre-backs at places like Spurs, Michael Keane's probably a good fit.
Yeah.
So,
and again, this is no massive pop at Michael Keane because he is a good player. And don't get me wrong, Michael Keane did have some mental issues, which he did get sorted out. And I think from then, since he's come back from that, he's been a really good player. But as you say, Michael, when you're going to be bringing quality in the likes of Koulibaly, if we get him, fingers crossed. And obviously, you've got the emergence of Ben Godfrey, who's coming through now. And you've also got Yerry Mina, who for me is a much more powerful centre-half. Unfortunately, I think it would be Michael Keane, the one to make way. But listen, as you say, he wouldn't be short of offers.
No. In terms of other outgoings, Everton have potentially rumours maybe that a certain PSG and Juventus are after a certain Everton striker in Moise Keane. Believe he scored 15 goals in, I think it's 29 games. It might be a few more now, but he has come good in France. And a lot of people say it's a bit like a farmers league. It's an easy league. There's only one team in it. But last time I checked, PSG was second. And this is a team that is arguably, probably third favourite for the Champions League final this season. So he's certainly playing in a competitive team with a good manager in Pochettino. I can see Juve and PSG both wanting him and causing a little bit of a bidding war potentially. What about you?
Yeah, that's good for Everton, isn't it? And I've said this many times. Moise Keane is a really, really good player. He's proven that now. He's playing in the Champions League with PSG. There's a chance he could win it. I just don't think the Premier League's for him. It's a good thing, though, that Juventus may be back in for him, the club we signed him from, and obviously PSG want him as well because he's done enough there to, for talks to start. I think it's rumoured it's something like 49 million quid. But this is good for Everton because if a bidding war then starts, Everton obviously get more money, and don't get me wrong, £49 million for Moise Keane, I think we'd be really happy with that. I just don't think... See, this is the problem we have with Moise Keane. Michael Everton could basically say, you're not going. You're coming back here, you're not going. But then how will Moise Keane react? Because obviously he's got that move now to PSG where he's playing with full of confidence, he's scoring goals, he's playing with quality players week in, week out. Maybe that's what he was missing at Everton, Michael. Maybe he might have settled into the Premier League. I've always said I don't think the Premier League's for him. When you've got players playing around you at PSG like he has and he's getting better service, it could be that. We could come back to Everton, Michael, and, obviously if we sign this midfielder that we're apparently after and play with James, he could become a good player, but it's the attitude that I'm frightened of what he will come back to Everton with if Everton don't let him go.
I agree. I agree, and we've already seen a bit of a bad attitude from him in the past. I look at Moise Keane, and I always mention parallels with former younger players at Everton, and a lot of people have said that bad attitudes and things like that. But I do see a difference with players like Moise Keane and Ademola Lookman and Vlasic, for example, and even Garbutt at left back. Moise Keane had issues like COVID parties. He turned up for training late.
Yeah.
He had reasons for issues. Whereas I don't remember hearing that Lookman was late for training. I don't really remember him, causing major issues. I don't remember Vlasic. I don't remember Garbutt. And we all said that they either had an attitude or they weren't good enough for Everton. Well, Moise Keane's different. He clearly does have a bit of an attitude. And I'm not saying he doesn't make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But we can only base it on last season. And last season, he didn't have a great attitude. Pre-season, he didn't have a great attitude. He wanted to move away. He got his move away. I'm not that bothered if he comes back. I rate Moise Keane. I always rated Moise Keane. I always said I wanted him to see more games. I certainly wanted to see Moise Keane, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison as our front three. And if you'd offer me that next season, I'd still probably take that. With James just behind, I would take that.
Frightening. But it's a frightening attacking line if Moise Keane brings the form he's got at PSG with him.
Exactly. But I don't think he will. And I also don't necessarily think Richarlison will be an Everton player either. So by getting this transfer money, I just think Everton can maybe get more, if you get what I mean. Now, I'm not saying that Richarlison definitely leaves either, but I can just see that if Moise Keane goes for 50 million, Richarlison goes for, say, 60, 70 million, it's 100, 110, 120 million that can be utilised in areas that we definitely need without having to go and break the bank and worry about financial fair play too much, because this is players we've already got on our book. So going and getting a Max Aarons who will be on less money than Moise Keane or Richarlison sounds like a good move to me. Going and getting an aggressive centre midfielder who can carry the ball sounds a good move for me. I just, I don't know, for me...
You see, for me, Richarlison can be replaced. Richarlison can be replaced. And this is the thing. If you can, at the end of the day, if we can get £110 million for Richarlison and Moise Keane, we're really only losing one player for £110 million because Moise Keane hasn't been here anyway. So for £110 million, in my opinion, you can bring players in positions where we need, but I think you can also replace Richarlison, Michael.
Yeah.
And again, for me, I'll say it how it is. People know that I don't think Richarlison's been fantastic this season. I think he's had an average season, Richarlison. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up his arse. And I don't think he's had that much of a good season. So can we afford to lose Richarlison? Yes, we can, in my opinion. There'll be people on here saying, we should be building a team around Richarlison. But I disagree with that. I think you should be looking to build a team round, starting from the back with your Ben Godfrey and bringing that midfielder in who we need, and maybe a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the spine of the team. Obviously Koulibaly and Godfrey, and obviously we need someone in the midfield who can carry the ball. Then you got Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'd also like to see us bring another striker in. Whether that happens, I don't know. But there's certain players who have been linked with moves away, Michael. I don't think they're irreplaceable.
No, agreed. And Everton do have a few players off the book this season as well. Bolassi's contract's up. Besic, I think his contract's finally up. There's several players that could potentially leave, and I don't think it's a bad thing. And again, it's not a criticism on these players, but if you're either not going to play football or you're not in the manager's thoughts, why would you equally want to be at a football team where you're not going to be the man you want to be, if you get what I mean? Mohamed Besic, he's got the right attitude. He's got a fantastic attitude. He will battle for everything on a football pitch, irrespective of what he can or can't achieve. He will battle. But
and also what I like about him, Michael, as well, is he never comes onto social media and slags the club and says he should be playing. You don't hear from him, which, don't get me wrong, he's probably sitting on, I don't know what he's on, £30,000 a week, whatever he's on. I wouldn't moan if I was on 30 grand a week. But there's players out there, Michael, who are on £150,000 a week will pull the club down. Yeah, he just gets on with it. And even Balassi as well. Balassi was another one, Michael. The things he's done for the community, every time you see him on Twitter and whatever, he was taking an Everton shirt to someone. He didn't have no grudges against the club. Very rare you see that now from these professional football players who are on massive wages. And it's good to see, but I'd like to think when these players realise they haven't got a future, like that, like Leighton Baines did, he knew his playing days were up. He didn't sign a contract. He could have signed a contract and sat on the bench. I
And
think Seamus Coleman will do that as well.
and in hindsight, Leighton Baines probably would have played a few times this season, and
Yeah.
we wouldn't have seen him conquer.
We don't anyway.
No, but I mean, we wouldn't have seen him. We wouldn't have seen him in the games where we have seen
In
him
the cup games and that, yeah.
because Baines would have played. So I'm
Every
I'm not
cloud.
every cloud. One other thing that has been, I'm not necessarily going to say it's a rumour, but Max Aarons and Ben Godfrey, the constant photos of them two and the communication, it's just, if Everton don't sign Max Aarons at this point, I'll
show my ass. I'll show my ass in Marx's window if we don't sign Max Aarons.
It's unbelievable. I mean, even England are putting posts of Ben Godfrey and Max Aarons talking together, playing football together. And I sat there when I saw it and thought, oh, steady on. There's got to be something in this at this point. So,
if you look at did you see the tweet last night from a Mr. Fabrizio Romano?
Yeah.
That's another one. An Everton fan said any Everton news, and he said, Romano said, keep an eye on Max Aarons. It's very, very, very rare he gets anything wrong, by the way. So listen, in my opinion, if Max Aarons doesn't sign for Everton, it's going to be the biggest fucking wind-up there's ever been.
Well, there's been a few. There's been Yarmolenko, Manny Fernandez. Oh, there's been tons. Oh, there's been tons of Riquelme. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, wow, Martinho, the one at where's he now? Wolves.
Wolves. Yeah.
We were meant to sign him. I remember Bill Kenwright coming out and saying, "Yeah, he's a player we want to sign."
I think it's different now with Max Aarons. I think the club's run a bit differently now from them days, but I'd be very, very shocked if we don't bring Max Aarons in. I think that'd be the first name over the line.
Yeah. Obviously, we do have a gap. Well, it's not technically this week, but we do have a fixture this weekend, although it's Monday. But we will have, obviously, our match preview coming out on probably Saturday for it, because I think that's probably whenever Carlo does his press conference, we'll do our match preview after that on that night. With him, yeah, we'll have him on the Blue Boys Network. He'll come. Yeah. But yeah, look, that really is it. We've done a video since the stadium, so
give them the news about the platforms that we will be live on.
Oh, okay.
You're going to tell them that. Go on, you may as well.
But I wasn't necessarily going to tell them everything.
Oh, we'll leave it then. We'll tease you like we're getting teased with Max Aarons. We'll leave it.
No. So, guys, just so you know, we've sorted out our Periscope account. So we will be live on Twitter, on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and I'm not going too far into this, so John, shut up. But we have got some quite exciting news coming out in a couple of weeks' time that we want you all to get involved with. It would mean so much to this channel if you can get involved, because it's something different. I don't know
any other channels that do it.
I don't know another YouTube channel that have done this. And look, I don't even know what it looks like yet, but it could be absolutely fantastic. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. And I'm telling
John, to throw a pun in.
I know you are. I know. But you just can't flap away like that, John. You just can't flap it.
Don't flap about it, right? It'll happen when it happens.
I know. It's unbelievable. It's like when you got that little Tweety bird in the top corner, and every time the cat goes towards you, he's like tweet. Oh, it's brilliant. But yeah, we've got some really
talking about pussies. How's your beard?
Brilliant, Jesus, brilliant. Oh my God. Oh, this was such. Oh, it's absolutely outrageous.
Oh. People have to watch this video to the end.
Oh, honest to God. It's probably a good job that nobody watches at this point. I tell you what, if you are watching at this point, write in the comments that you are here still right now. Because I'm telling you, the average view time's 17 minutes. So they're gone. They've gone. But I mean, wave to them.
Yeah, we're talking to ourselves.
Honestly. It's just like a catch up on Zoom, this is. Yeah, so that was it. Guys, make sure you go and get yourselves a plaque from teamwarlark.com as well. They are going to be the channel sponsor for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. So get yourselves a plaque, and we will see if we will have a channel sponsor after 2 weeks. But just to put it in perspective, we really need some orders. Like, seriously need some orders. So instead of donating to the channel, buy a plaque.
Yeah. And please. One more thing, as Michael pointed out, 47% of people who watch our videos don't subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this video, just hit the subscribe button. You don't have to watch every video we do. It takes half a second to hit the subscribe button. Just hit it because it helps the channel massively.
And when we get to 10,000 subs, we will be doing a £100 giveaway.
Woo!
But you won't know that because you won't have watched the videos.
So because you're not watching, I can say there's either £100 or a night with Michael's wife-to-be. Take your pick.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I'll be wanting a refund for £100. So guys,
on the wedding.
Brilliant. But that's if it goes ahead anyway. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. And I am sorry for the start of this video, but it was really important.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You have to do what you said what you needed to be said. Don't apologise.
No, and I don't. And anything. There is a fine difference. Me and John can banter each other because we know each other. You guys, if you're regulars to this channel, I love the banter that you guys give me. So don't think I'm a wet wipe that can't take a bit of a laugh and a joke. I'm absolutely fine.
It's the one-offs who just pipe up every now and again, and all she say is personal. If
I don't know you, I'm not going to respond to it well. So just, interact with us because not everything is going to upset me. Not everything is going to upset John. We get it all the time from some fantastic people on that. I mean, the Jez Bish, he's a perfect example. All he does is go in on me, but honestly, he's one of the nicest guys on this channel, and he's a proper laugh, and I can give it back to him, and it is just banter. But there is a very fine line between banter and going too far. And fortunately enough, you get away with it more when I know you. Or at least you're a contributor, or you care about us, you care about the channel. If you're literally just some random guy who's come on to take a pop at us, if Everton are losing, like we very rarely get an influx of a certain fan base at that point, just to call me fat and a wall, then I'm not feeling that. And what we'll be doing from future is any one of these comments I am going to be posting on my Twitter just so everyone can see how much of a bellend you are. So we're not only calling you out live on stream, I'm calling you out on social media as well. So be brave, be bold, and if you really do want to see some chest, I'm going to give you some chest. We're going to leave it there. Keep smiling, up the toffees, new stadiums on the rise, and best team on Merseyside, best team in the Premier League. Everything's blue. We're not winning the under-8s. We're not winning the under-12s. We're not winning the under-16s. We're not winning the Women's League. Oh, I tell you what, though, just before we go, little shout-out to the women. I watched their game against Brighton the weekend. They battered a team that had gone 4 unbeaten, 5-0, at Brighton. It was absolutely fantastic. Honestly, Russo got a hat-trick. Sarah Halpin did great on the commentary and the pundit work. Absolutely brilliant for Everton fans. And I would say it's a real credit to women's football. Sky TV are going to be showing it. It's absolutely phenomenal. If I froze there, I had a scheduled installation on my tablet. See, we're not even on computers. We're just a small fry in a ridiculously large pond. And I also again, sorry, John, I'm just dragging this on now, aren't I?
I was
Also,
happy here all day.
no one's been watching since 16 minutes. It's fine. I did a video with Rose the other night called, I think it was called
Oh,
Talking Toffees.
Yeah.
There is a podcast called Talking Toffees. They were absolutely fine. I didn't realise. And I didn't want to, obviously, I'd never want to step on anyone's toes. So this is just a public apology to them. They were absolutely fine with it. They didn't raise anything. I just didn't see that there was a podcast called Talking Toffees. They sent me a message just saying, Mike, are you going to call the show this? No harm done on either side. So just a public apology to those guys. And of course, as always, they're always welcome on the channel. Video with Lee Gunner that was for Thursday has been cancelled due to the situation with Claude. Lee and Claude were incredibly close. Obviously, they were both, both did videos for AFTV. And Lee's clearly and rightly not in the mood. Absolutely fine. So we'll have Lee on at some point in the future. We will have a serious video tomorrow with Connor from One Leeds. He is a friend of mine. It goes deeper than just a YouTube acquaintance. He's a friend. He's not quite John, but he's in the group. Like I really, really like Connor. So yeah, he will be on tomorrow, and I am going on his channel. So make sure you go and subscribe to One Leeds. And for any of the One Leeds fans that have come over and sat through 36 minutes, 32 seconds of this video, subscribe to me. Thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely leaving it there now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.
Up the toffees.
If I had the wings.
Of a sparrow.
If I had the ass of a crow.
I was meant to say the bird.
Oh, go on then. If you had the...
Oh, you fucked it now. You fucked it. Just shit on Anfield. Just shit on Anfield. There you go. There you go. No
shit
worries.
On the people below.
That's it. Shit
on the fans below.
There's no fans in there. Oh, that's another thing. Have you heard they're trying to get this 61,000 seat extension or whatever to one of the sides?
Isn't it funny it comes out now?
Oh, of course. Liverpool Echo were absolutely loving it. They were rubbing their hands. They were thinking, oh, we didn't give Everton enough credit. Let's get our loft conversion on the opposite side. I mean, what they've done is they've got a loft conversion and now they've stuck a conservatory on the back end. It's an absolute, it's just up the toffees.
Peace, everyone. We're going.
Oh, wait, yeah. All right. See you later. Try.